And away we go. Welcome back to the show. My name is Jeremy Knows. My name is Jeremy Hone, but you know me as Jeremy Knows. I'm the Heart Trooper number 7. Welcome back. Getting set up. You know, I think I have everything in place except for my kazoo. Let me take a moment of self-awareness, understand myself and my audience, and re-equip myself. Thanks for watching the replay. We're going to get started with a mega VeeFriends update in 5 minutes. Little sip of coffee. Good morning. A little sip of water. Window tinter. So good to see you. 12 people in the room. Hello. Wow. Twitch not usually getting so much attention, but here we are. Thanks for being here. Hey, Gas Fairy. Hey. So let me go live on Instagram and actually first let me post this thread. So this is fun. Let's do this way. So I'm about to post this pretty massive VeeFriend update. Hopefully it all pushes through just fine. It touches, I want to say 80 to 90% of everything going on, at least that I know of. Where's the send button? Why don't I see the send button? You now have I don't need to know about this. Where's send? Wait a minute. I'm not crazy, right? Like, you don't see the send button either? Do I? Wait. I'm not crazy. There should be a tweet button there, but it's not there at the bottom. Oh, maybe. Oh, I know. I gotta click on a tweet. There we go. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. I can't do this. Hey, Folly. Let me get to Instagram and VeeFriends mega update. Wow. Actually, let me put this over here so I can share a sight line. I feel like this view is better for the recording. Gary V is active right now, according to Instagram. Welcome back to the show. Hi, my name is Jeremy Knows, the Heart Trooper number 7, and I'm here with an update for you on VeeFriends. Welcome. Come on in. Hey, Instagram, let me tell you that we are live on twitch.tv/VeeFriends. You're welcome to stay wherever is convenient for you. But if you need to multitask, you can jump over to Twitch. And I think the final thing to do is just send this tweet. Sometimes when I post a thread, it freaks out, but I think everything's going to push through. And open up my podcast recorder. New episode, record. Cool. Very exciting. Thank you for being here on Twitch. Thank you for being here on Instagram. Good morning to Danny Boutique, or good afternoon. So the VeeFriends Cafe is open now, and for the whole NFT NYC week, the Welcome Bus is there. The Welcome Bus is handing out free Perspective Pigeon and Persuasive Pigeon shirts, and they have Uno cards at the cafe. So I think they're going to be opening and playing with Uno cards. Maybe I would imagine they also have the Compete and Collect cards too, because they probably got those direct from Deocool. So it's going to be a fun card day, but there's a lot more to talk about than just the cards or just the NFT activation this week. Hi, Willen. Hi. And then Willen said, Jeremy, say hi to me. Yeah, check out the t-shirt. And actually, I should include this in the podcast. It's one thing I don't have in my notes. Let me go to Twitter and go to Kat's profile. If you didn't catch our VeeRoads Spaces, it's a little buried in my timeline now, but it is an airdrop that someone in the community gave. It's a Polygon drop. If you're holding a VeeCon ticket, or were a week ago, you'll have a Polygon NFT, which is this VeeRose. And let me see. I want to pin one of her tweets with the story. Ready? I don't know that there's anything that is really brand new, but it's the first time in a while we've been able to put it all in one place. And I know that that's very useful. I just tweeted that thread, so let me just add this quickly to the end of it. Cool. All right. Twitch has had the intro once or twice. Instagram has had the intro once. Now it's time for the podcast. Good morning and welcome back to the Jeremy Knows podcast, where VeeCon never ends. I'm your host, Jeremy the Heart Trooper number 7, and I am fully caffeinated and ready to deliver a mega VeeFriends update. Stick around to the end because I do have 2 little pieces of alpha for you, but this podcast is meant to be the one we can look back to and rely on for the next couple of weeks of what is to be kept track of. As you've seen with now 10,255 Series 1 tokens, 55,555 Series 2 tokens, over 100,000 book games tokens still remaining, and brand collaborations across multiple verticals, it is getting difficult to keep track of all of the news and updates regarding VeeFriends. Always turn to blog.veefriends.com for the main publications. I rely on it for what is ready now, watchable now. But there are so many more things that Gary has shared, and I'll drive directly into his own words. And it's a good time to be recording this because he tweeted this morning. He said, I've landed in France for the Cannes Lions 2022 Film Festival. We'll be super off the grid in quote unquote meetings land for the next 4 days. Miss you all and hope everyone has the best week. If you're not familiar with Cannes, it's a massive international film festival and also a huge wine community there. So I've heard him talk about multiple times a lot of business and connections and relationships stem from that festival, and that it's a festival he loves to return to. So furthermore, in Gary's own words, we had a massive update. Just Gary coming in. I want to say this was on the 16th or something. Just wanted to update everyone here. We've been working hard, super hard this week, meeting after meeting on VeeCon 2023. Uno and trading cards, July strategy, 5 different apparel deals, hiring like crazy for content creation, influencer drops strategy, new website, app, and Series 2 surprises. So I'm going to dissect that, read between the lines, and share what we know from the last week. So keep your arms and legs secure within the vehicle, fasten your seatbelt, and open your mind because we're about to do a deep dive. And I see a comment from Dushan that we're in the post VeeCon era. That's not true yet. we're post number 1, right? And series 2 minting is completely done. If you were going to burn your book games to claim the new characters, your period for that is over. However, series 1 holders still have until December 31st to mint their free evolving pose. And I checked, there are still 25% of the collection that has yet to mint their evolving pose. So those are out there. The same time frame is for book games. If you originally purchased books and haven't claimed your airdrop of book games, you have until December 31st of this year to do so. The intellectual property landscape is slowly emerging from the dirt. I like to say, and Gary said as well, that this is the phase of laying the foundation. I did a really awesome podcast with Sal DeGuardia yesterday at the NFT VIP Margaritaville, and I hope that folks listen to it because we talked a little more macro. And so I'll direct you there. Sal has the Crypto Radio Network. If you're not following them on Twitter and supporting his project, then I would ask you to do so. He got to interview so many panelists from that conference, and I just know there's a lot of great content in the can. And Sal does so much every single morning, weekday for Coffee Talk to sort of maintain and support this community. So please, it's free to follow, and hopefully the radio is valuable for you. But one thing we talked about, or that I shared from my personal perspective, is with the intellectual property licensing of the characters, I think a lot of people are a little sore about it. We want to be able to use our VeeFriends in our own personal branding, in our business branding. We want to be able to tell our own original stories and not be concerned about a DCMA or being asked not to do so. And the way I put it to Sal is, in this foundation laying phase, like literally the cement foundation of the tallest building in town, I think they're being overly protective. And I wouldn't be surprised to see in the post VeeCon years, maybe 2025, 2027, a much more plastic and flexible alignment, especially between holders. Now, this is the time where it's important for me to mention that I don't work for VeeFriends. I'm not affiliated officially. I was previously a moderator there, but any of the information I share throughout any of these podcast episodes or on my Twitter is public information. You can find it on Discord, the blockchain, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you get your news. Outside of just a couple in-person encounters I've had with Andy and Gary, I don't think anything that they've shared with me is not also public information and out there. So just FYI, all of these opinions are my own. If I say anything about the market, it's not financial advice. I am an educator. I am an entertainer, and that is what I'm here for. So let's keep it going. Regarding the intellectual property, the seed is beginning to sprout. We now have 7 VeeFriends songs, which play a lot like theme songs. Something I noticed is that half the songs have a secondary qualifier, as in Heart Trooper, the Love Sharpshooter, as in Adaptable Alien, the Outer Space Ace, as in Zealous Zombie, My Undead Friend, and the Most Motivated Monster. So these qualifiers are interesting, now making Information Circulator interchangeable with Alpha Alligator. It kind of makes me wonder if over time we'll move away from these alliterative names that we know, like Gratitude Gorilla, and they will have other equivalents. Information Circulator then becomes what? Maybe a technology, maybe a product or service. Just to sort of piece together how this early storytelling lays the roots for what these characters might be relevant to, whether that's just strictly value offers in the terms of entertainment or escapism or education, or it's a mascot or something related to a product or service that can build the VeeFriends business. The other songs which we got are Rare Robot and Be a Patient Pig. So those 7, you can listen to all of those on Spotify. The link to the VeeFriends Spotify account is in the podcast show notes. And actually, I took really good notes for this podcast. That's why I'm able to keep a little bit more of a pace. And I posted them on Twitter. I will pin that tweet. So if you want to just reference the TLDR, you can go to Jeremy Knows VF on Twitter, and it'll be there for some time. Continuing into the intellectual property realm, we've gotten 5 skits, 1 trailer, and 2 concept pieces. If I missed one, please do let me know. But before the Series 2 launch, we saw voiced manifestations of both the hype horse and the charming cheetah. We also saw a VeeCon trailer featuring 4 characters: Passionate Parrot, Last Class Standing, Heart Trooper, and Bashful Blobfish. Then we had a perspective pigeon skit with the mustard on the tie, Selfless Sloth and Self-Aware Hare helping the lady across the street. The competitive clown had a bit of a monologue. The mindful Minokawa had a skit, which I get giddy about because the character's name was Jeremy. And I feel like I'm now VeeFriends canon, and I take that with much gratitude. And most recently is the skit of the accountable anteater, which you might have missed, which also lays a lot of foundations for the world of VeeFriends, the same way that we have now. I don't know how many. I think it's like 71 scenes within the series 2. That's all very much world building. It gives us like a physical image, a visual image of what the world looks like in its infancy. And we saw more in the accountable anteater within a home, and the accountable anteater has a family, and the fur color was used to indicate gender and sex, and everybody speaks English. I know these are seemingly basic things, but all stories are built on tropes and outlines, and so it's interesting to see which, for me, from a storytelling perspective, it's interesting for me to see how they're positioning characters and what known story arcs they're using at the start, because they're setting most of the characters up as hero types. And if you are nerdy or curious, you can search or Google the hero's journey. There's been tons written about it. It will give you a lot of tools for structuring your own stories. But that's just like one iteration of how it's written. These are like very humanly inherent things that we recognize in story. So yeah, I hope that made sense. I actually lost my train of thought and all that. Podcast pause. There was one more thing I wanted to say about story, and I knew I wasn't going to find it, so I gave myself a break. How we doing? Twitch is going strong. Maha's here. Hartley, Top Load, good to see you. Sebastian says, I know. I speculate and expand a lot. I don't know if half of the stuff I'm saying is accurate or where they think this is going, but that's where I see it going. I think the last thing I wanted to say about story, superpowers. So the piece I wanted to add about these VeeFriends stories that is so fun for me is the superpowers. I don't know if every single VeeFriend will end up being a superhero in this sense, but the Mindful Minokawa skit really stood out to me in the sense that, look, it's very simple and it happened very fast, but not every creature has the ability to just spontaneously appear and disappear. If you haven't seen the Mindful Minokawa skit, it's a human character who's running around as there's a fire going on in their house. They're freaking out. They're like, why is this going on? And the Mindful Minokawa just appears, sort of with this like large presence. And he goes, Mindful Minokawa. And then the Mindful Minokawa offers a little bit of presence. It's like by not being emotionally reactive to the moment, you can see it with a wider lens and make a decisive choice. And then he exhibits another superpower where he just goes up and flaps his wings and puts out fires. Like, that's a really like cool power. He also swallowed a bomb and was completely fine, and has this power of perception, right, of the mind, knowing what to do through being mindful. And the Mindful Minokawa is not the only character we've seen exhibit superpowers. Many, many months ago, there was a comic skit that featured, I want to say it was the Forgiving Horned Frog, the Befuddled Burglar, and perhaps the Flexin' Fox or the Swaggy Sea Lion. The burglar had stolen something from the other character, and the Forgiving Horned Frog, in one of the panels, throws its tongue what looked like 25 yards to try to catch the befuddled burglar as he's hopping over a brick wall and getting away. And again, it may seem simple, but like frogs don't actually have 25-meter long tongues. That feels like a kind of superpower. Some of us commented on this at the time, and by playing in a cartoon realm, in an animation realm, And with a mostly family-friendly tone, it gives them a lot of flexibility to like sort of stretch the dough and play with what is possible in the cartoon world. So, ba-da-bam-ba-da. Okay. That's most of what I see regarding IP development. And now I want to get into the nitty-gritty of timelines and things you need to know, because there is a deadline. In fact, today you have 12 hours from this recording until midnight Eastern time, June 21st, if you hold a productive Puffin Series 1 or Series 2. The claim link is in the show notes. This is a collaboration with an unknown brand. We're pretty sure it's Primitive Skate brand. Possibly the free claim is the hoodie and merch that Gary was wearing at VeeCon, but we don't know. We'll find out on the 24th. But if you have a productive Puffin, make sure you claim that, because if you don't, you won't get whatever the gimme is. Also, if you have a Series 1 productive Puffin and you haven't claimed your evolving pose, make sure to do so and claim from both tokens, because they've seemed to suggest that the it's not a prize, the thing that they're offering to holders is different from Series 1 to Series 2. And I hope that it is. And I think it will do a lot to establish some distinction between the collections, which I know holders are hungry for as well. So it'll be fun to see that play out, revealed on June 24th. In between there, June 22nd, we're going to get an update on the Wolfgame MiniDrop collaboration. So you might have missed this in February on the 14th. There was an opportunity to stake Wolfgame assets into the Vayner Kingdom. Wolfgame is a whole ecosystem of its own. I can't describe in this podcast right now, but by staking their currency of wool or their tokens of wolves, sheeps, you could participate in this airdrop. But the duration of the stake was unknown at the time because it was meant to coincide with the launch of the main game in Wolfgame. That launch from the Wolfgame side has been delayed, but AJ and Johnny Moe, who are leading this airdrop, have come out and said that they will give us an update tomorrow on June 22nd, and the final snapshot will come, I don't think they gave a timeline, but a week or two from then. And then the airdrop will be able to happen quickly after that. The artwork and everything is complete. There's a community member named Terminatus that is well known in Wolfgame that is doing the artwork, and they actually shared a little preview of it on Twitter, which I put in the show notes as well. Moving forward, we have our 2 sets of trading cards. So today, as of this moment, compete and collect cards, some 50,000 boxes are en route to VeeFriends worldwide. It's pretty exciting. Just a little bit of alpha on the cards. Make sure if you're going to open the cards and you have multiple boxes that you check the rarity of your box. There are 2 rarity characters and iterations of 4 and 3, making for 12 unique box designs. There's the Lucky series, the 5 series, the Signatures series, and the New Character series. So I don't know the color off the top of my head. I want to say it's pink. It's either pink or orange is the most rare, but the rarity of the box, the like product artwork, is not correlated to the rarity of the cards inside. So if you're planning to open a box, it makes sense to just open a more common box if you're going to be holding another one for long-term collectability. And especially if you get that lucky cat rare, because all of the box designs have 3 characters except for the very, very lucky cat, who I think we'll see is maybe a bit of a loner in the VeeFriends world and sort of comes in with what superpowers we don't yet know at times of great need for characters in VeeFriends. It is NFT week in New York City. A blog with all the activations will be in the show notes. After this recording, I'm going to go down to the 1:37 p.m. cafe and check out the bus. The VeeFriends Welcome Bus has a wrap of the New York City skyline from Series 2 and features the Persuasive and the Perspective Pigeon in all of their poses from the collection. And if you get to the Welcome Bus in time, you can get a free t-shirt with some related artwork with the pigeons. And you can also get a POAP. So hit up a VeeFriends staff to get your POAP. At the VeeFriends Cafe, which has taken over the 1:37 p.m. cafe for the day, they also have Uno cards and compete and collect cards in tow because they're available now. So Uno cards as well will be shipping in the next week or so, if not already. Moving forward, it's a bit of a mouthful. I hope you're enjoying all this. Let's just briefly interrupt the podcast to say thank you for listening. I appreciate this. I do feel confident that this podcast holds up at a 1.5x speed. So if you're looking to save a little time, I swear that my diction will hold up. Also, while we're in this brief commercial break, remember that security in Web3 is entirely up to you. Your keys, your coins, your seed phrase protects absolutely everything that you own in this Web3 space. And any wallets connected to your seed phrase can be compromised if that seed phrase is compromised. Make sure to have a backup and have a backup to a backup plan. Never store your seed phrase digitally. Hold it on a physical piece of paper. And there's a lot of security tips and tricks throughout the space. We're talking about it all the time. So if you have any questions about setting up a hardware wallet or best practices when participating in Mint or any of those things, please send them my way or reach out to other community members. It's a volatile space. Losing your assets should not be one of the reasons why your bags are down. And last thing in the commercial break is our NFT is still minting. When we launched the NFT, we pegged it to $150. So at the time, that was 0.75 ETH. With the recent decline in the market, which we'll talk about in another podcast, it's been readjusted to 0.1 ETH. But for the moment, the smart contract is set to 0.1, but the decentralized app that you mint through on jeremyknows.com is still set to 0.075. So if you want to take advantage of that arbitrage and pay closer to $100 for your JK token, you have a day or so to do so. And if you don't know what the JK token is, I'll put the FAQ in the show notes. It is a simple hold and burn tokenomics dynamic, which gives you access to me and all of the content that I am creating. So if you're holding the token, you'll get first notice. I was talking about SMS text service, but we're going to do in-app messaging instead. So we're going to be sharing the details of that before the end of the month. And that's going to be, when am I live? When is there a new VeeFriends blog? What is the time-sensitive stuff going on that you need to know? And we'll build it together over the course of the years. The burn dynamic, if you choose to mint the token and redeem it, you can get a minimum of 15 minutes with me per token, one-on-one, to do whatever is useful and valuable to you. I can help explain blockchain to your family, help onboard them. I can talk to you about your project. You can have me come on your podcast. We can do a lot of things. We've had 3 burn events so far. One of them has been consulting a DAO on some tools to use. Another has been asking the question of, is it a better investment to get a Series 1 token or a very, very lucky cat in Series 2? And we have another person who's asked me to be on their podcast. So there is actually a fourth, which I am researching a project for a community member, devoting 2 hours for 4 tokens. So they're getting double that minimum time. And they've been generous enough to ask me to not only make a report for them, but also make a small presentation for the community. So we'll be hosting a spaces on that in the next week. And a lot more stuff in like my personal imagination and ecosystem that I'll share at a later date. So let's get back to VeeFriends. I said I needed a break because everything was such a mouthful, but I just talked through the whole break. Kazoo interlude. And we're back. So we've got 5 apparel deals in the works. We've seen 2 of them, we think, maybe 3, and 2 are big mysteries. So there was an Atom Bomb Squad collaboration, which released yesterday at their pop-up here in New York, sold out in about an hour or so, featuring Gary B and some Atom Bomb Squad imagery. Then I'm pretty sure this productive puffing claim is going to be a primitive merch drop akin to the hoodie that Gary was wearing at VeeCon. The third, I think, will likely be a sneak peek hoodie that we saw Gary wearing in the style of the VeeCon sweaters, where patches of the characters, but instead of the new characters, it's the OG VeeFriend 1 characters in their Series 2 form, of course. and sort of the same array of 12 to 15 patches around the hoodie. So he showed us wearing that. It would be cool if they made that a wider release for folks. We've definitely also seen Gary wearing many beanies and hats featuring characters that have not hit the market. So that could be another one of these. And the fifth one is a complete mystery to me. This is very important. There is a huge hiring push going on at VeeFriends. And it's not just VeeFriends, by the way. There are many large companies that are pushing for hires. Some companies that you might recognize like Nike, Hulu, Visa, Apple, Disney, PayPal, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, the NFL, and the list goes on. These are massive companies hiring for crypto jobs. And I think I should just do a whole podcast about Web3 jobs in the space. But VeeFriends has a whole slate of their own, along with VaynerX. Specifically within VeeFriends, we have a copywriter position, senior video editor, presentation creator, which is like making pitch decks, customer success assistant, which is working to make sure people are onboarded with reliable and accurate information, and access experience coordinator, which is the person who coordinates with all access token holders, communicates with them, and develops systems to improve their experience. So those applications are available. They haven't said when those applications will close, but if you're interested, I would encourage you to think about a week time frame. Try to wrap that up. But it's an ongoing application process. They did add 2 new positions, an associate and a senior designer. These are like style guides, graphic designers, animators. I would say they help the company to maintain the aesthetic uniformity of VeeFriends and the logic between different graphics, logos, typographies, and such. So if that's you, shout out Tim Livingston. You may want to apply for that job. But wait, you'll remember that when there was a snapshot of every wallet holding a Series 1 spectacular per token, not per wallet. We don't have any real idea what this spectacular surprise will be, but Gary said twice in the last week that details about it are coming soon. So there's no update now, but that snapshot is still going to play out. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be related to VeeFriends, of course, but specifically the branding of spectaculars. You know, in the same way that each of these characters are their own brand, in a sense, gold and diamond and bubblegum and emerald and hologram and lava are all their own ideas and concepts and worlds that have to be built out. So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe all gold got a similar or even the same airdrop. You know, that would be a quantity 1 out of 235. It's not so bad. Maybe a little variation makes it 1 of 55 somehow. It wouldn't be too shocking to see the 5 trope come back for this last sort of Series 2 connected event. But so no timeline on that yet, but just FYI. Some bigger bites, which you've probably heard about. We have a Gift Goat Beeple collab coming. We don't know what gift it's going to be. The claim deadline for gift number 7 has passed, but if you buy a Gift Goat now, you can claim for gift number 8. Beeple, like I said, we don't know what number that will be. No updates yet on the Snoop Dogg DOGG Friends collaboration with VeeCon tickets, to which in the late summer and early fall, we will get updates, and a VeeCon 2022 ticket will be the trigger for that project. Like I said, we don't know if that means free mint. We don't know if that means pre-sale. We don't know if it's a PFP project or a metaverse project or something else, but there was an interesting trademark filed by Snoop Dogg and his companies for Uncle Snoop's. And there will be a brand of virtual cannabis, virtual smoking paraphernalia, and virtual clothing. So I have no knowledge whether or not these 2 things are related, but just an indication that I think Snoop Dogg and the people around him are very much focused on activating within the metaverse and improving the tools there. And it wouldn't surprise me if this play was VeeFriends kind of dipping their toes in metaverse while onboarding the VeeCon community into a Snoop Dogg DOGG metaverse. But who knows? Could also be that it could literally be DOGG friends, and that could have been an alpha leak, and it's some kind of DOGG derivative of VeeFriends. We'll see when we get there. I forgot to mention regarding the card show, Gary had said the July strategy. What he's referring to is the National Card Show, which is happening next month, July 27th to the 31st in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He shared previously that there was going to be an activation there regarding compete and collect cards. So imagine 3, 5, maybe more tables where people can open the packs, trade the cards, and play the game. It's going to be really important for the brand of compete and collect, and to begin to plant the seed of how important competition is. Something we haven't talked so much about is that competing and competition is such a pivotal tool for the education of VeeFriends. You know, the proliferation of these different adjectives and perspectives being taught to the masses, being practiced, practically, optimistically practiced in society. I think the pivotal education tool for Gary, based on who he is and how he sees the world, is competition. Competition between your empathy and your patience and your tenacity leads you to that understanding. As always, I'm letting my imagination run wild, but just a thought that having that physical experience, playing with the cards, seeing them compete, having fun collecting them, and also asking the question, why do some characters have different skill levels in aura, different skill levels in energy or vitality? I can't remember the 3 stats off the top of my head. It'll be fun to see that play out. And furthermore, the fall, quote unquote, fall is stacked with character activations. The way that Gary's been discussing fall and winter as a big time for character development in VeeFriends, I'm leaning toward the fact that he might just hit every single holiday and have something going on for Thanksgiving and Halloween and 5 December holidays and August, some August, September holiday I don't even think about. It could be interesting. I'm not setting my I don't want to set my expectations too high, but the way that he has deferred to the fall, and also the tone of that original message that I read to you, gives me the indication that those things he talked about, like a website update and an app and a mini drop strategy, are all within the next 6 months, kind of like from here until the end of the year. While often Gary will mention something, you know, whether it be a theme park or a VeeFriends Island or a video game, and I view that as very much a post VeeCon world, you know, years after the original promise of VeeFriends 1, seeing that play out. I think what he addressed last week has a shorter term time frame, but we don't know that for sure. Okay, rounding the bend, we want to return to VeeCon because there's a few things you need to know. VeeCon 2023 is seeing many, many meetings in the last week. We don't have any details about the location, but or specifics rather. But Gary said previously could be July, and today he said possibly in June. So VeeCon looking like it's going to be in the closer to the summer months. VeeCon 2023 will also not be international. Gary addressed this. He said he really wants to have an international one, but it's not going to be this year. That's subject to change, of course, but I think that's where they're location scouting for the moment. And two more things, or actually, there's actually a lot of things on this list, isn't there? So I want to bring your attention to the V-Rose. Oh, that NFT cats in the community. She airdropped everyone with a VeeCon ticket a V-Rose in the spirit of giving people roses while they're still around, which was something that Gary shared multiple times at the conference. So just be aware, if you see this Polygon NFT in your hidden folder, it is a safe NFT, came from the community, and it is just a gesture of gratitude. You can follow her journey on vrose_ETH. There's another free NFT for VeeCon ticket holders, and it is from Benny Daytime. This one you have to go and claim. The link will be in the show notes. But Benny Daytime is the creator of a collection called Mug Life, #Mug Life. And he's created a VeeCon 2022 mug that if you were holding a ticket per the snapshot last week, then you can go and claim that. The directions are in the Twitter I linked. For international VeeConners, people who are at VeeCon but unable to claim the VeeCon Viper giveaway, the fractional share of the art piece of the VeeCon Viper, the counter execution, the surprise between Rally and Gary and VeeFriends for what will be like the consolation prize, right? To make sure that you do get a free gift of some kind. We don't know what it is, but an update is coming soon, according to Gary. Seems like maybe before the end of the month. He's off the grid for a few days, so I imagine he comes back with a lot of fire and tries to get that before the end of the month, but we'll see. If you minted the Whim NFT, those dynamic screens that were on display at VeeCon, go back and check your NFT. If you won the raffle for a free canvas, the metadata will have changed and will say so. There was also a second tier prize, a special gift box. Not sure what that is, but follow Whim at C on a Whim for those details. And lastly, with the collaboration piece, Rally Road was actually giving away a free NFT at VeeCon. It was kind of difficult to see. I didn't even find it. But it is a VeeCon weekend token. They made 555 of them, and they're on OpenSea. So I'll link them in the description. I actually picked up a few of these because I didn't get it. And in taking a closer look, the back of the token says it has RORR, RORR merch access, allow list access, and Rally collab access. So I think this is kind of a low-key Genesis Rally NFT. And they're currently 0.03 on OpenSea, which I don't know is $30 or something. So if you're holding anything in Rally Road, it would probably be a good idea to get exposure to this NFT if you can afford it. The last thing regarding VeeCon, I want to bring your attention to We365. Vic has created a shared Google document for aggregating all of the knowledge and notes from different speakers and panels at VeeCon, and he's hosting sort of continued return and learn to VeeCon spaces. So if you're looking to self-actualize, remember, review, reminisce, and use that information to improve, follow Vic, tap into those spaces. And while we're on the topic of spaces, actually, I want to also shout out VeeFriends Radio. They're also on Twitter, and they've created a Twitter Spaces schedule. If you're in the Twitter Spaces ecosystem of VeeFriends, you will know that there are a dozen and more VeeFriends hosting spaces at intermittent times. And so VeeFriends Radio is working to aggregate all of those times, and they made a clean image where you can track it. So off the top of my head, Sal does his coffee talks 9 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Masha Roth has been doing VeeFriends market updates Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's also V Leaders doing occasional Twitter spaces about that with Pam and Peg, doing weekly Wednesday night Eastern time spaces. Vginas doing every other week spaces. And as for me, you'll just have to turn on post notifications. I'm mostly using Twitter Spaces as a real-time urgent delivery of information when I don't have time to come and record the podcast. So that's everything I could find in VeeFriends world. If I missed something, please do alert it to me. There's definitely more to follow up on, but that's what I could see from where I'm at. The last thing in the Vayner ecosystem is Gary Vee actually submitted a trademark of his own in the last couple of weeks for Vayner 3, and it's a Web3 consulting company. So it'll be interesting to see what the dynamic is between Vayner NFT and Vayner 3 and what the distinction is. But nice to see those. Nice to see the Death Star building. And I did mention I have two little pieces of alpha for you. I hope you enjoy them. The alpha is TikTok. I know if you've been following Gary, you've been hearing this for months, but I am now on the TikTok train, and it's not just about me. It's about all VeeFriends. There's a simple limitation in TikTok. which you cannot live stream until you have 1,000 followers. So I am on the road to 1,000 followers. I'm trying to get there by the end of June. We're almost halfway there. My tag there is wanna be a VeeFriend, wanna be like the Spice Girls, AVEE friend. Please follow me there, but not just me. Say hello. Tell people if you're on TikTok that you are part of this VeeFriends community and you want to do live streams, or you just want to simply build your TikTok. There's no reason with 22,000 holders plus that all VeeFriends shouldn't at least have 1,000 followers on TikTok. And I think this is a great moment where rising tides can lift all ships. And I hope you will join me over there. I am committed to posting every single day. I'm going for that 4-a-day, but it's hard to hit sometimes. But every single day, I'm starting to actually get good content on TikTok, and that's why I'm bringing it to you here. The second piece of alpha is the 1:37 p.m. NFT. And it was inevitable that they would release something, but we haven't gotten a lot of details on it. We have seen a character that they've been including in a lot of their content, this sort of like cool culture kid with a beanie over his eyes with the 1:37 p.m. logo. You might have seen it. But two things happened recently. Tyler, who is the president of 1:37 p.m., formerly Gary Vee's admin, posted a tweet in a meeting just simply saying that they were working on a 1:37 p.m. NFT, which I think was the first time I saw it literally confirmed. But then also 1:37 released an image, and it looked like an old computer interface, like 80s old, and it said clearance level 6. And it was in a reply to this NFT message Tyler sent. And the reason I think that is alpha is because the 1:37 p.m. Discord does have a leveling system, and the highest level is level 6. And you become a legend or something. They have this like curious hustler. They have different titles for a few different levels. And considering that mint will likely be competitive, it would make sense that that's a really nice way to reward the people who have been active in the 1:37 p.m. Discord for, however many 6 to 8 months it's been up, by giving them this priority pre-sale access at level 6. So that's not confirmed, but that's just me putting some clues together. And last but not least, the show notes will include the VeeFriends roundup. It's a snapshot of what happened in the last week in VeeFriends by Behind the Kit, and it's always worth a read. I got that right in time. I on Anchor, I can only record for 30 minutes, and that was a 29-minute and 55-second segment. Hey, Ben, any Just Art surprise update? I haven't seen anything on the Just Art surprise update. Thank you, Dom. Thank you. Squishmallows for the kids. Oh, I didn't mention the Squishmallows. Actually, can anybody help me with this? Thank you for reminding me of that. I didn't mention it because it's one of these bigger bites, but I couldn't remember the fourth character. Did you see the preview that Andy put out? And it showed the adventurous astronaut, the karma kiwi, the intuitive iguana, and a fourth character. Does anyone know what that fourth character was? Because I couldn't find the image, and I can't remember it. I'm trying to now, but like I kind of have a block because I'm trying so hard to remember. It's not coming to me. But it was confirmed that those 4 characters are the only 4 being created, and they're like pillow size. And I'm just trying to remember. Intuitive iguana, karma kiwi. It wasn't the grizzly bear. It wasn't the puffin. It wasn't a piranha. What was it? Yes, the astronaut. So thank you, Wade. So there was the astronaut, the karma kiwi, the intuitive iguana, and was it the porcupine? Was it or the benevolent barn owl? Humble hedgehog. There it is. Cool. So yeah, let me get that in the podcast and then record an outro. And while I'm here, why don't I label these VF Mega Update Part 1. This really feels like a mega update. Okay. And that's the show, folks. There is one thing on the radar that got skipped in the podcast, and that is the very big bite, which is the Squishmallows collaboration. Not much is known about the Squishmallows collaboration, but these are desk toys and huggable pillows. They're very collectible. The collaboration was announced just after VeeCon. We did see a sneak peek, and we know that these are going to be huggable pillow sized. And 4 characters are featured. Those 4 characters are the Humble Hedgehog, the Adventurous Astronaut, the Karma Kiwi, and the Intuitive Iguana. But I don't expect a release for that until like the later fall. So as always, I want to thank you for your time, your attention, and your support. Thanks for being a part of VeeFriends. I hope that you can make someone's life 1% better today, or take some time for yourself, or just simply hydrate and stretch so that you can be better and better for the marathon that is this NFT journey. I think on following the previous week of a significant market downturn, more than any time, it's important to remember that we are just getting started. We are early, and the relationships that you are developing and strengthening during this period, during this era, as Gary would say, are far more valuable than the NFTs you've collected or lost value on. Make sure if you're watching the market to also go out and mint new friendships. Please put in your best effort to check on your friends as much as you check your floors. This is a people game. This is a community game. This is a connection game. This is a communication game. And I hope that you make the most of it. Please participate. Please get educated. And please take action for yourself. This has been a massive VeeFriends update on the Jeremy Knows podcast, where VeeCon never ends. I'm your host, Jeremy, the Heart Trooper, number 7. Thank you for your time and your attention. I will see you tomorrow. Whew. Good one. You're welcome. Hello, hello. Feel left out with Dapper Dashin. Dapper Dashin. Actually, you know, something I didn't mention, I'm not going to go back for it now, but something I didn't mention is some character shout outs we've gotten for the Juicy Jaguar, for dogs in general, more specifically the dialed in dog. So it's possible your Dashin will benefit from that. And also all of the fish. I don't know if it's all of the fish, but many fish got a shout out through Gary's mention, like just straight up hint. And he filtered Series 2 collection for the Determined Dolphin and the Observant Oyster and the Spiffy Salmon and a couple of other fish. So it seems like that must have come up in a meeting this week. So let me just post this podcast, and then, yeah, I'm a little late, but I'm right on time. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Boom. What is this? Episode 189? This is, 189. And show notes. It is so helpful to write the show notes ahead of time. I should do that more often. Like I said, I hope that this podcast can be a resource to return to. I don't really need that part. Yeah, it's enough. No paste. Copy. Paste. But why? My notes won't paste into Anchor, and I don't know why. But why? Copy. Paste. Oh, maybe it's more than. Oh, it's probably more than 4,000 characters. Okay, let's go to the bottom then. Oh, okay. Let's do a piece at a time then. I'm not going to type this up. I'm not going to type this all out again. What's going on? Huh. Okay. Let me save this as a draft. Description is required. Okay. Save it as a draft. Now, let me just try this a little bit. Okay, now it works. Let's try more than a little bit. So this is your regularly scheduled reminder that if you're ever having trouble with a website interface, it helps to refresh. No, it doesn't want to do all of it. Okay. Can I do a little more than? Darn. Okay. Okay, one more time. Great. Piece by piece. I'll come check if you guys are having questions in just a second. Problem with this top part. Okay, I'm just gonna let it be. Okay. What's up, Jay? Where do we fly to next? It's a good question. I fly to California next, but where do we fly to next? I'm open to ideas. Adios, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Have you seen any posts of the specs from the Uno cards people are playing with? No, I haven't. But I'm gonna head to the cafe now. I just have to shower and get ready, and then I'll be there. So I'll take some pictures. I'm definitely gonna do a TikTok or two. Thanks for watching as always. I'm gonna peace out for you, Twitch. We'll see you tomorrow.